teachers leading their classrooms so they can receive the education they need to succeed in college, the workplace, or just in life. Flint students deserve that opportunity, but the Flint Board of Education seems determined to take that opportunity away from our kids by denying them a good education. A few months ago, the United Teachers of Flint and Flint Community School administrators and their lawyer collaborated on a settlement agreement. This agreement was painstakingly crafted, word by word, number by number, with the help of the state mediator. The agreement addressed critical staffing issues that have long plagued our school district. These issues include teacher recruitment and retention, long overdue pay increases, and step advancements for school employees. This agreement also would allow us to transition back to a traditional calendar that was requested by the school district leaders. Neither side got everything that they wanted, but we were able to reach an agreement, and everyone was excited to get this history behind us and focus on the future. But in a bizarre move, the Flint School Board rejected the agreement at its January 17th meeting and instead is proposing to micromanage negotiations between the district's labor relations professionals and the union. Just to be clear, this never happens. School boards hire professional expert administrators and attorneys with decades of experience to oversee day-to-day functions, including labor negotiations. Meanwhile, the school board refuses to explain its rationale that makes sense to educators, parents, or the Flint community. Almost 2 months have passed since the school board rejected its own administrator settlement agreement, and there's been nothing. And the longer this drags out, the more and more qualified teachers we lose to other school districts or retirement, where educators are paid a decent wage when they go to a different school district and treated like professionals. We cannot sit idly by and allow the local politicians on the Flint School Board to harm our students by refusing to provide them with quality educators they deserve in their schools. They are robbing Flint children's futures, and enough is enough. For the long-term success of our students, we cannot continue allowing the Flint Board of Education to bleed our schools dry of the high-quality teachers Flint kids deserve. Since the school board refuses to take action, we must act. We must act for the sake of our students. We must act for the sake of our schools. We must act for the sake of our community. The time is now.
Thank you. Next.
Hello, my name is Johnny Sue Petrick, MEA Exchange Drive. I'm a retired Flint teacher. I'm going to date myself, I started at Bryant Middle School. You know how long ago that was. And I ended up as physics at Northern High School. My husband's dedicated 34 years to Flint community schools, starting at the old Northern, going to the new Northern, and then ending up at Central High School, where he was choir director and English teacher. All 5 of our children started school, kindergarten, at Summerfield School. 4 of them graduated from Central High School and 1 from the old Flint Academy, which joined with Southwestern Academy, Southwestern High School to become Flint Academy, Southwestern Academy, excuse me. I have seen many things, changes throughout the years, none more dramatic than the disrespect for teachers. I'll tell you what I mean. When Flint had its real financial crisis, the teachers gave up a 19% of their wages. They gave that up to save the Flint schools, but they haven't received the respect due for what they did. Your deeds need respect. And at the time, they were promised that they would, and eventually they would be made whole. They haven't been. This new contract, which they agreed to, which your negotiators agreed to, would make them whole again. It's sad when you think about what has happened to the Flint schools. My daughter, Karen Christian, you just heard her, she's been 33 years in this district, and do you know she still makes about the same amount I did 15 years ago when I was teaching. What profession is there that in 15 years you don't raise their salary? That you're stuck. What profession is there? These teachers have to go to college. They have to get a master's degree. They have to get further education. That costs them. They have to feed and clothe their children, just like everybody does. They have to send their children to college. If they don't have the wage, they can't do that. They're stuck at this. What profession is there? For 15 years, it stays the same place. Nobody does. No profession does. We have teachers who are leaving Flint, going to other districts and getting a $10,000 raise just to go to another district. Why should our teachers, they showed their dedication. They gave up all this time. They've given up and given up and given up. It's time to give back. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Joelle Jordan, and I reside at Windsor Lane in Flint, Michigan. Good evening, Mr. Jones and Flint Board of Education. And if I get teary-eyed, it's because I'm passionate. I'm a teacher who has taught 18 years in Flint Community Schools. It has been a challenging experience at best. I started in 2006 and was pink slipped because my services were not needed after that first year. I was recalled only to be pink slipped the following year, and the following year after that, and the following, I think you know where I'm going. You can see I was pink slipped 7 straight years out of my 18 years here. Did I panic or worry? Sometimes yes, and sometimes I just trusted the process. But every year when I was recalled, I came back with eager anticipation to meet my students and to help them to grow and learn. So not just the pink slipping over and over, but the constant movement of teachers. And I know some of these people know this. I know I'm not alone, but I have been in 8 elementaries in 18 years. About the time I get to know the students and build relationships, I'm moved like a chess piece to another school. In a community of students that need stability because of the instability sometimes they experience in their lives. We do a disservice to our students and families. In 2015, I was able to purchase my own home in the city of Flint. I chose Flint because I wanted to reside in the community I taught in. I would see kids in my neighborhood and be able to engage and bond with them. I also bought it because I knew I could vote for the school board in my community. I was excited about this. And having a say in the leadership in my district. I voted for 4 of the board members. I even have had the wonderful privilege of teaching one of you. When you ran for these positions, I even reached out to the UTF leadership and asked if we can endorse those 4, and we did. Actually, there were 5, but 4 got voted in. That's how much I believed in you. I cannot even begin to tell you the hurt, the disappointment, the anger I have felt these past couple of months, not being supported by this board I believed in. I feel let down and just outright shamed by promises of supporting teachers. I would also like to bring up one last point. When the pay cuts and freezes occurred in 2015, I had to come up with income to supplement this loss. I worked in retail. I would teach all day, leave at my contractual time, race to my retail store, and work till 11 p.m. at night sometimes. And then get up the next morning and do it all over again. I did my best not to complain and showed up for my students to give them the educational experience they deserve. Today, in 2024, I don't work at the retail store anymore, but I have come up with other sources of income and work 3 other jobs that make up these differences. And I am not alone in this. I'm sure there's many in here who work 2nd and 3rd and 4th jobs. The majority of these teachers in this auditorium work other jobs and show up every day for the students in this district. I looked at my family a couple of weekends ago and said, and I quote, "I'm tired. I really want to work in a world where I can work 1 job and provide. I beg you," my mic went out. I beg you, because I'm a gym teacher, I can speak like this. Board of Education, Reconsider your decision and take care of the people, because you can talk all day about caring about students, but if you don't take care of your people, you don't care about your students. Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening, Bruce Jordan, 5095 Exchange Drive. I proudly and humbly represent the United Teachers of Flint. I'll be direct. UTF has requested several meetings with this district over the past 3 months, over the past 2 weeks. Those requests, either one, were ignored, or two, were denied by the board because the district must get permission for the administration to speak with us. And that conversation has not happened. Teachers did not make the decision today. They were sick and tired. They were sick. In fact, it was one of the hardest decisions likely they've ever had to make in their professional, in their non-professional, in their personal lives and career. They put it out there. They risked. I need you to respect that. You don't have to. I get it, but I need you to. What they did today is they stood up. What they did today was stood up for what they believe is a wrong. And it is. I'm just going to close with this. Concessions were not meant to be forever, and forever ends today. I implore you, in fact, I'm begging you, we need a negotiation. We need to come together, or this district will not survive.
Hi, my name is Chrissy Gatz, and my residence is on Shoemaker Street in Burton, Michigan. But I stand before you as a proud Flint teacher, but also a very proud Flint kid. Sobey Elementary. Oh, I said I wasn't gonna cry. Forgive me. Sobey Elementary, Lowell Middle School, and Flint Central High School. Those are the buildings I called home growing up. Those are the places I received an excellent education. And those are the places where my teachers invested themselves in me to help make me the person, the educator I am today. I wanted to be like so many of them. I remember their faces to this day, and I can name every teacher I had. I won't waste your time and do that, though. With all due respect, and I mean no disrespect, I cannot name one school board member's name or one superintendent's name from when I was a teacher, from when I was a student sitting in Flint Community Schools classrooms. It's my teachers I remember, because it was my teachers who loved and taught me daily. For the past 31 years, I've called King Elementary, Scott Elementary, and now Freeman Elementary my home. Only this time, I've been the tall one in the room, standing at the front. Some of you sitting on that stage have graced me and my students by coming into my classroom. You've watched me teach, talked with my kids, and seen firsthand the engagement and learning taking place in my room. For those of you who have not, why not? Please come and see me. I'm in room 1 of Freeman. Come anytime, no appointment needed, and see for yourself. For the past 31 years, I have given my best to the young people I've been lucky enough to teach. They are not just my scholars. They are not just my students in my class. They are so much more. They are my kids. and they still call, text, email, and come visit me. I get their wedding invitations. I get their baby shower invitations. I get their military photos and stories of how they're doing as adults. I've been in this district so long as a teacher that I'm even getting their babies in my classroom. But I'm not sure how much longer I can choose to call Flint home. The pay cuts and the freezes we teachers have taken for years has cost me personally a great deal. The wage trouble in Flint truly does affect the students of Flint Community Schools. You're not attracting new teachers to this beautiful district, and you're making it so hard for those of us already teaching here to continue to choose Flint. Who will teach our kids when we veteran teachers leave? Who will teach my babies when I have to leave? I apologize for going over, but if you will not listen to me as a proud Flint teacher, then I beg you, please listen to me as a proud Flint kid. Please talk with the union. I want to continue to choose Flint. Please.
Excuse me, while you approaching. As the president of this board, I want you guys to hear me clearly. We're gonna end shortly, but I want you to hear me because we are going into closed door to discuss this matter. And we're gonna end public speaking at 7 o'clock, but by no means do you take this as a disrespect. We just want to get to the closed door. We hear you. We understand what everybody is here. We have 3 minutes. It's about 6:50 now. But I don't want you to leave bitter, be saying that we're cutting you off. I don't believe in that. But we will be cutting off about 7:01 or 7:02 so we can just get to the bottom of this and go into closed door. Proceed.
Good evening. As you know, my name is Felicia Neymark, and I am one of 2 direct hire in-person speech-language pathologists in this district. I currently serve at DTM, Educare, and on the early childhood evaluation team. I understood that some of the board members may believe that the settlement agreement for restorative steps mostly benefits teachers on the bottom of the pay scale. As I mentioned last time, I was hired by Flint Schools in the spring of 2016 to begin in the 16-17 school year, but actually began working that summer doing compensatory services before the school year began to students who needed those services because they had not received them during the school year. If the agreement signed by Mr. Gardner on your behalf does go through, it is those of us in the middle of the pay scale that benefit the most. I, for example, would move 6 steps on the pay scale, as I have had very minimal increases in my almost 8 years in the district. As a longtime coworker of mine at DTM, she would move 5. We have remained with the district because of our love for our students. The time is now to fix this problem. We've waited too long. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Board. My name is Joanna Kauselman. I reside at 3021 Arizona Avenue. Yes, that's in the city. Yes, that's a Flint neighborhood. I'm here to speak to you tonight about what a great event happened last week. The Taste of Literacy was put on at the Flint Farmers Market by Flint teachers, by these people. I will not mention any names. As the event went on, a board member created a scene in front of several community members. Flint parents, Flint students, as they approached a table where several teachers were handing out family engagement resources. The board member began the conversation with, keep in mind, it's a Wednesday night, and what do we wear on Wednesdays? I know you have no confidence in us, but you could at least acknowledge me, referring to the UTF t-shirt that the proud Flint educator was wearing. The teachers remained professionals and felt it would be in their best interest to not escalate the individual, seeing that the board member was behaving in an inappropriate manner in front of Flint students who were there along with the community. The board member proceeded to make several snarky comments. When the teachers attempted to explain the materials to the board member, they were rudely interrupted with a condescending remark, "I know how to read." Well, God, I wonder if that person went to Flint schools, because if you got an uneducated teacher, you sure don't know how to read. Several other attempts were made to further explain the materials to the board member that were unsuccessful. The board member moved on to the next table, all the while sharing how upset that board member was with the teachers as they proceeded, once again, to the next table. This incident did not end there. Oh no. The board member went back to the previous table and proceeded in a loud and childish manner, which was by no means professional. And you will notice educators remain professional. And made several more rude and demeaning comments to the teachers, like, "If you are this rude to me, I can't imagine how horrible you treat your students." All of this took place once again in front of community members, Flint parents, and Flint students. I ask, is this how you want to be treated? Would I be allowed in your job, in your home, in your environment, and act that way and not be asked to leave? Is this the way we treat individuals in this district who give up their family time, their personal time, time they don't get compensated for? We don't get paid for after-school events. We do that for our kids. And I'm going to say it again, our kids. Not students, not scholars. Those are my babies. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
How y'all doing today? My phone started ringing at 6:30 this morning from parents talking about 120 teachers was calling in sick. Then this afternoon, stories about the hardship, the hard times that these teachers was having in the classroom with their kids started to come in. And then I found out that y'all had $116 million. There's no reason for this to be like this. Now, I hope some of y'all get elected. I stood in front of City Hall, and people asked me who to vote for, and I called out y'all names. I expect y'all to go in that back room and come out and pay these people. And also, I expect y'all to create an in-school suspension program. I expect y'all to bring back guidance counselors. Just to keep it real, if you don't do those things, you're going to continue to lose students. And the more students you lose, and y'all had to spend that money at the top. There's no way in the world y'all had that much money, didn't pay these people, and y'all had to spend that money up top. And where did you spend it? We don't see it. So please, the future is our kids. And if y'all keep treating these teachers like this, it's over. Y'all won't have a school system soon. Y'all won't have, and then another thing, it's a such thing as donations without attachments. That's what y'all need to be seeking, not donations with orders. Nobody should be donating to the Flint School public system and telling them how they should be acting. They should be donating and getting out the way and writing it off in their taxes. But that's not what's happening in Flint. They are giving you money with demands and got all these people in here. So please go into that back room, make whatever calls you got to make, and pay these people.
Good evening. My name is A.C. Dumas. It's like a box of Cracker Jacks. You'll never know the surprise you get when you open it up. I want to say this, that it's appalling. Martin Luther King spoke about fair wages 60 years ago. Right now, in 2024, this Flint Board of Education does not want to give these laborers, when I say laborers, I don't mean as union workers, but people who have labored for our children. It's time. Mr. Previous speaker said, well, need to go in the back room. You don't need to go in the back room. Only thing, just somebody put a motion on the floor. How many you got? What you need, 4 votes? Get the vote. You know, I'm old now. I go to bed at 9. I'm asleep. I remember the days when I was in the compensatory services. Mayor Karen Weaver's mother, she gave me my first job. So I know how it is. And I'm telling you to do the right thing. I just believe this, and I'm going to take my seat, that what you do down here, you're going to have to give an account to God when you get up there. I believe that with all my heart. These ladies and gentlemen, they struggle and they work hard just for a fair wage. That's sad. And last but not least, I want to say something. And I've been saying this to you board members, especially you African American board members, that we have a security contract coming up, I guess sometime in June. And the company that has the security contract now, I FOIA'd this board and asked for their contract. They're working on a non-signed contract. How do you give a contract? If the lie was told, Mr. Clack, that's what you all sent to me, the board. How do you give a contract and the Board of Education didn't sign the contract? What contract is Teach Out working on? They've been had whatever they're working on for 18, close to 20 years. I'm gonna ask you to do the right thing. Do the right thing about these teachers, and do the right thing about contracts that come to this board and all, I can't see around you, but I'm pointing over there. These guys that give their same old friends contracts. That's what they doing. I'm going down. The city of Flint had $94 million in ARPA funds and didn't serve the residents of the city of Flint with 1 penny of it. And the Flint Board of Education got money. Listen, give these hard servants. How do I use public servants? Public servants. Give them their raise. They haven't. I didn't know they hadn't had one in so many years. That's terrible. Thank you.
I would like to thank everybody for your comments. I appreciate your comments. The board did hear you. Thank you, Mr. Dumas. We will move on to our next agenda item so we can get to the meat of our business. I would like to seek a motion and a second from the board to batch all action items, Resolution 1.4, 11.14 through 11.21, 21.14, and 25.1. I seek a motion to batch.
So moved.
Support. It's been properly moved, supported by Ms. Perkins. Is there any discussions? Seeing no further discussion, the motion is to batch all the items mentioned, and the resolution will be conducted by a roll call vote. As I call your name, please say yes or no. Secretary Perkins.
Yes.
Trustee McIntyre.
Yes.
Vice President Clack.
Yes.
Trustee King.
Yes.
Trustee Relaford. Yes. Treasurer Luna.
Yes.
And myself, President Mike Neal, 7 yes.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I make a motion to approve the batched items.
Second. Support.
It's been motion and second by Claudia Perkins.
Motion by King.
Uh-huh. And there was motion by Trustee King, I'm sorry. Is there any discussions? Seeing no discussion, we would do a roll call. Secretary Perkins?
Yes.
Trustee McIntyre?
Yes.
Vice President Clack?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Trustee Relaford? Yes. Treasurer Luna?
Yes.
And myself a yes, 7 yes. Board member, at this time, I seek a motion and a second from the board to amend the agenda to add a closed session under Michigan Open Meeting Act 8-1. I'm seeking a motion and a second to make an amendment to the agenda to add the closed session under the Michigan Open Meeting Act 8-1H.
So moved.
It's been moved by McIntyre, supported by Trustee Perkins. Is there any discussions? Seeing no further discussion, the motion to amend the agenda to add a closed session will be conducted by a roll call vote. Board members, as I call your name, please respond by yes or no. Secretary Perkins?
Yes.
Trustee McIntyre?
Yes.
Vice President Clack?
Yes. Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Trustee Relaford?
Yes.
Treasurer Luna?
Yes.
And myself a yes. Board member, I need a motion and a second from the board to go into closed session regarding UTF under the Michigan Open Meeting Act 8H.
I make a motion to go into closed session.
Is there,
UTF.
is there a second?
Support.
Who supported?
I support.
Motion by Perkins, supported by Trustee King. It had been properly moved and second that we meet in closed session. Board members, I call your name. Please respond by yes or no. Secretary Perkins?
Yes.
Trustee McIntyre?
Yes.
Vice President Clack?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Trustee Relaford?
No.
No.
Treasurer Luna,
Yes.
and myself, yes. 6 yes, 1 no. Board member, this closed session has been called. So we are now going into closed session. What time? 7:08. Let everybody get situated, break. We all set? I would like to call the Board Committee of the Whole meeting back to order. The time is 8:18 p.m. Board member, I would like to entertain a motion and a second for the superintendent and chief negotiator to go back and discuss a counter regarding the grievance. Did y'all understand the motion? With the UTF. With the chief negotiator. I repeat it again. The superintendent, I would like to entertain a motion and a second for the superintendent and chief negotiator go back and discuss a counter regarding grievances and I want to say and a mediator. Huh? The grievance with the UTM would strike out. So I'm gonna make it clear again. I would like to entertain a motion and a second for the superintendent and chief negotiator go back and discuss a counter regarding grievances with UTF.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make the motion to allow the superintendent and a chief negotiator to go talk to the UTF about the grievance. Is that the motion? Pretty much?
Yes.
Okay.
He's making a motion for us.
The motion.
Support.
It has been motioned by Clark, supported by Trustee Perkins. Are there any questions?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
through you to Mr. Gardner and Mr. Jones, to the extent possible, just for us and for the people watching in the media, could someone explain what that motion does? Just crystal clear.
Sure, I will. This motion allows us to speak with the leaders of UTF about the counter offer and a counter if the UTF has one. It puts us in a position to where we're at the table speaking about the counter offer that we have. That's what this does.
Thank you. Is there any more questions? Seeing none, we will conduct a roll call. Treasurer Lona,
Yes.
Trustee Rutherford,
Yes.
Trustee King,
Yes.
Vice President Clack,
Yes.
Trustee McIntyre,
Yes.
Secretary Perkins,
Yes.
and myself, 7 yes. Attorney Gardner.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tim Gardner, and I am the Chief Negotiator. I've been able to work with the School District of the City of Flint Board of Education as the Chief Negotiator since 2022, and I've had the opportunity to work with the United Teachers of Flint on a number of occasions on a number of difficult issues. And I know from the news reports that there have been some concerns about our relationship. There have been some challenges over the past few months, but we would like to say that since, in 2022, we were able to ratify a collective bargaining agreement that actually provided a step on August 1, 2023, and a step in August 1, 2024. But not only that, we were able to also get a new wage scale, which really improved and was really hailed at the time as something that was really going to bring a positive amount of benefit to some of the teachers that are in the audience today. So I think there's a concern, or maybe there's been a concern, that this isn't a we, that we aren't together. We may have some disputes, but I tend to believe that we are together. We may have some challenges, I think we are together. And I think that in most instances, the Board of Education and the administration do work together. And we do share common goals, and we want to make sure things get done, but get done in the best interest of our teachers and the 100+ individuals that are in the collective bargaining agreement. So there have been some challenges, but we want to say that in reality, that's the we, that's the board, that's me, the chief negotiator, and that's also the administration. We have some new administration members here that have been just absolute, to me, I think have brought a lot to the table, from our human resources to our finance person to our superintendent who's been here and has been working extremely hard to make sure that we improve and try to improve student enrollment. So I think that there's this sense that we're not together, but I just want to say we are together. And I would like to also say that, frankly, when you look at what we provided over the last few years as far as what we've been able to provide to teachers, in that 2022 bargaining agreement, we not only gave a new wage scale, but we also, in steps, we got another step coming August 1, 2024, but we also changed over the hard caps, right? That was a really significant thing. It was at the 2019 level, now it's at the current level. That was a positive development for a lot of teachers in the bargaining unit. And in addition to all of that, really it's that wage scale. It's much better than it was before. Remember that long wage scale, everybody, where it had all these steps? And now we worked together and combined it, and we've got a much better scale, because what we wanted to do was make sure that we attracted individuals that were in other school districts or other places to come to Flint and be a teacher. And at we made developments, but not everything is perfect. And we say that we've been able during this process to have a mediator get involved. That's Richard Ziegler. He's helped us through negotiating on not one, but also he's helped us through a lot of other difficult, challenging circumstances. So I think sometimes when you have the state mediator come in and become involved, it really helps to make sure that we get issues resolved, whether they're grievances that are going to be moved into arbitration, or there are other issues that come up that we have difficult resolving. So for us, we view ourselves as together. We're a team. And while we may have disputes and we may have challenges, we say to you, we've given in the past. What about that COVID bonus that was provided in 2021? That's not gone anywhere. It's $22,500. And frankly, that was a benefit that was provided. So we've got steps. We got a step August 1, 2023, step August 1, 2024, and in our counter, we offered a step. That's 3 steps in 1 year. That is a substantial investment in our teachers.
Madam Chair.
So, we've created a timeline. That timeline has been out since Monday. It has actually been a lot of time the district administration has put into this timeline. And we would like to say for all of those that are here to have the opportunity to review that timeline and get the opportunity to see what has been provided to the teachers. And we look forward to having further discussions in person and trying to see if we can come to some resolution on some of these issues. So we may not be in agreement on everything, but we do, the board and the administration, the team looks forward to meeting in person together and being able to listen to what UTF has to propose and try to problem solve. So I think Trustee King has
Madam
something.
Chair, with that being said about the MERC mediator, I'd like to make a motion to request the MERC mediator, Richard Ziegler, be present in all talks.
Support. There's a motion on the floor for the mediator to be included in this conversation, second by Trustee Relaford, motion made by Trustee King. Is there any discussions?
I have a question, Madam Chair. And I want to be careful how I ask this question. Those talks with the UTF, the district, with the MERC mediator present, that won't affect their contract, which doesn't expire until next year. Those will be separate talks.
So the contract expires July 31st, 2025. These are going to be discussions about a grievance settlement agreement, meaning we're attempting to resolve grievances. And so it doesn't implicate, in our view, the contract. What it is we're negotiating and trying to settle these grievances that are outstanding that have been moved to arbitration. So that's why we're doing this, is the focus is on resolving the 2 grievances, not 1 but 2.
Thank you.
Madam Chair. All right, Trustee Relaford.
Can you, is it possible if you could share those 2 grievances with us, or no?
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Can he share the 2 grievances with us?
Yes, I can. I'm going to just provide a brief description. The one grievance involves really the ability to hire individuals at a certain level on the salary scale. So if you're coming from the outside, you want to have, this would allow flexibility for the district to be able to hire individuals at a specific level. So higher level than what it is now. So that was something that was really discussed between the parties and would have been a substantial benefit, but right now we're moving towards arbitration on that, and that date is going to be in April/May. We've got another one though on April 12th that's scheduled. It's about prep time, and this has been an ongoing issue because we have a shortage to provide teachers with prep time, and that's been a challenge for us. We're currently working through that process, and we provided data to the union. And I think that as far as that's concerned, we're hopeful that that issue does get resolved in the near future. But I think that the administration has certainly taken steps to try to resolve this. This is a challenging situation because of the teacher shortage, but with the leadership of Kelly Fields, she's been able to put together and really work together with the administrators. At some buildings, it is being provided currently in a much better way than it was a year and a half ago. So there's efforts and actions that are taking place to try to get us where we need to be. It's not perfect because of our shortage. That is a real issue that impacts the prep time. So we've talked about that. The union and the district and the board bargaining team has talked about trying to resolve that. It's a hard issue to resolve in this district right now. So that's going to arbitration April 12th. So I hope I've answered this question. You know, when you get an attorney up here sometimes, we start just talking and talking and talking. So I'm trying to keep it short and sweet, but you understand it gets a little difficult sometimes. We like to talk.
If I may have a follow-up question?
Yes.
So this talk you're having with, you guys are involved in with UTF has nothing to do with the contract, correct? You're not negotiating a new contract?
No, we're not negotiating contract. We're trying to resolve some grievances that are outstanding. So these grievances, the two I've just talked about with Trustee King.
Okay, so it's grievances, not a contract?
Yes, it's two grievances.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any more discussion? Are there any more discussion? Now we do a roll call for the substance of the motion. Trustee Luna?
Yes.
Point of information. What's?
We doing a roll call to accept the motion. Unless you had another,
No. Okay, I had stepped out, so I missed the
Oh, I'm
motion.
sorry.
So can I have the motion repeated, please?
no, we did a motion. Keys did the
King.
motion.
The motion was to request the MERC mediator,
Okay.
Richard Ziegler,
Okay,
to be present in those talks.
okay.
No more discussion. So we doing a roll call. Trustee Luna?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Trustee Rutherford?
Yes.
Trustee Clack?
Yes.
Trustee McIntyre?
Yes.
Trustee Perkins?
Yes.
And myself, a yes, 7 yes. The motion passed. Thank you, Attorney.
Well, thank you very much. I've never been at a board table before and actually had to do this much talking, but I would like to say thank you very much. It's an honor to be here, and you know, that beautiful timeline that the superintendent put together.
And we do have copies for the audience,
Yes,
right?
I mean, it's got all kinds of colors and things here that, you know, I mean, they really put some effort forth, so I just want to say thank you to him for taking that work on.
Mr. Johnson?
Yep, and I'll just say that I believe that in these conversations that we've had with the Board of Education is receiving information from the administration and our lead negotiator. And the information that they have is what the board makes decisions, their decisions are based on. And no, none of us, as I said today to some media, no one at this table believes that the teachers are making the proper compensation. No one here believes that. I've heard it from every board member at this table. I've heard it from our administration as well. We need to do some work. It's going to take us coming together to do some work, but we also need to band together to look further beyond this district to get funding and money to support the work of this district. I think that there's an opportunity there for us to come together when we have these conversations to think of ways that we can get more money and utilize state funding in a way that can help us support our teachers, not only our teachers. I know our teachers is concerned about the parapros. The teachers are also concerned about principals, as well as the rest of the staff. We have to concern ourselves with all of those folks. And I think everyone in this room is concerned about everyone in this district. And at the end of the day, we're all concerned about our scholars. So I'm very happy that we're able to work together to come up with what's best for this district and move us forward. And I do believe the teachers is the bloodline, just like the board stated, that the teacher is the bloodline for the instructional practices in the classroom and for our scholars. And I know that every board member here believes that. And we stand together to do what is best to move us forward. And the best advice we can give our board is what we're bringing them to make the informed decisions that they're making. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any comments or questions to Superintendent Jones? Seeing none, we're gonna pause for about Mr. Clack back. We're waiting on Mr. Gardner. Mr. Gardner, I appreciate it. We thank you. We hope we can hear from you pretty soon. Thank you.
Yes, that means it's time for me to go. So thank you very much. I appreciate you giving me some time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I would like to open the floor for discussion, information item 22.9, the Northwestern project by our Vice President Mr. Michael Clax. Thank you. You can take that one.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. So there's a project that I've been tasked with, and the main part is to grow the enrollment in the district. So there have been some things that some different projects that I've tried to take on since I've been on the board. The first being the early childhood program, which, as you know, that didn't happen. The second being the debt elimination. We're in the process of doing that. And the third being the revision of our athletic program. So with that comes redoing the Northwestern Stadium, okay? Now, the thing is, we need to grow our enrollment. We all agree to this. Flint used to be a hub, a mecca for sports, basketball, football, even baseball, track and field. It is my belief that if we revise and redo our athletic, our athletic program and facilities, then more students will come. In essence, giving us more money, more revenue to pay the teachers and to do other things within the district. So there is different groups, different people that I've worked in the private sector that I've worked with. I will not say their names at this moment because they're not here, but did you want me to give a full?
Yeah, you can just continue.
Okay, so it is my proposition that we go, that's a three-phase process. The first would be the revision of Houston Stadium. The second would be the driver's training range to extend and bring driver's training back to the district. And the third would be to look at the gymnasium and the locker rooms at Northwestern. Now, this particular program has already been, the funds have already been voted for by our previous board, so it's not that we're doing anything different. We're not allocating any other funds. These funds were already allocated by the previous board. So I wanted to put that out there. I'm not going to go into a lot of specifics because I've got a lot of notes, and of course our athletic director is not here, and the assistant to help me with the specifics. But I just wanted to put that out there as a plan that we are currently working on with the athletic director and some community members.
Mr. Clark?
Yes, ma'am.
Based on the information that you just gave us, what do you need from the board or the district to move forward?
I guess just a vote to see when we can, I guess, start moving.
Start working and doing some of the work that he's talked about at Northwestern as it relates to the stadium.
Point of information, do we need a vote? Because it's already been voted on.
Well, the previous board did vote it, I guess. I'm not sure exactly why nothing is, why it hasn't moved or why it hasn't started, but I'm not sure maybe we need a vote to put things in motion.
Your thoughts, Mr. Jones?
So the athletic director we've been working with the athletic director. We've had a couple scheduled meetings. There's some that we need to complete. He's supposed to come forward with the Board of Education with a PowerPoint to discuss what sports should look like for Flint Community Schools and board members, and what the new plans will look like. That's the reason why that he hasn't come before you, is because we've been having meetings. There was a meeting scheduled last week that did not happen. We need to go back and make sure that the final conversations for the PowerPoint is clear,
Right.
and then he can come before the Board of Education.
Madam Chair.
And that was the request of the board.
Madam Chair.
Okay,
If this was done before we all got on board, I would like to see quotes, since it's going in 3 phases. What would be the cost to renovate Houston Stadium? My question is, does that involve the locker rooms in Houston Stadium, the bleachers, the track, and the inner field, everything in that gate? Yeah. Okay, and so when it comes to the driver's range, are we going to extend it back?
It's
depending on the acreage?
We're in the process now of surveying to see how much of the land behind the Northwestern and the driver's training range actually belongs to the Flint Community Schools. So they're aerial surveilling at this point. That was the last I was told. That was this last Wednesday, I believe, we went over. So,
Speaking to the mic, please.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you finished?
I apologize. So that was last Wednesday that we did that.
I would ask that you move the gym and the locker rooms through the first phase, because that way we can have open gym and kids can have tournaments at Northwestern instead of going all the way out to wherever they have to go. I'm not sure. But I think that right there would generate an energy where kids can actually walk up to the gym and play ball all day in tournaments. I think that would be a revenue generator, and also it is a great opportunity to capture students and their parents, because wherever kids are, parents will follow. And I think that would be a good opportunity for us to get good information in regards to our students' families, and make sure that any barriers that they have, we're able to address. Thanks.
So I don't think that there's anything wrong with the gym itself, the gymnasium itself.
It's hot.
Well, I mean, it's.
There's no air
but I
conditioner
think
in
that there are issues with the locker room. I think we've got older, out-of-date lockers that put us out of compliance with the state. But, you know, there can be, I think there are programs in the summertime at Northwestern in the gym.
I thought the bleachers were out,
Oh,
out
really?
of code. I thought you had to have those rails going
they're
down
up
the
there.
bleachers. They got rails down the, okay, I haven't been up there, sorry.
Yeah. And from what we were told, the rails at Northwestern are better than the rails at Southwestern at the gym.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Trustee McIntosh? Then Trustee King.
Thank you, Vice President Clack. I really appreciate you coming forward and taking the initiative, in my opinion, above and beyond the call of duty. I mean, this is what we're here for, but I understand how much time and effort this has taken, and I realize that this is a passion of love for your community, for sports, for the Flint schools, and I'm really excited because even before I was a board member, I watched the purposeful neglect of Northwestern and what was happening with the previous boards, with the misinformation and the inaccurate surveys and things that were provided to justify closing down that school and denying our community of those resources that still exist, that you rightly pointed out, we've clamored for. I mean, I was in the audience begging for these things that you're purporting to bring back. It is clear the community asks for them, continues to ask for them, needs them. I believe this will help with enrollment. Not only will it help with enrollment, but we've got a vision that's more progressive than regressive in terms of bringing back our driving range, you know, providing additional income, having other schools use our school
Contract
district
with
for
us.
these things. And then I think one thing, I didn't hear you mention it, but you mentioned that the last two sports facilities in Genesee County that were done by outlying school districts are not regulation standard. And
They are-
so we would actually be providing a space where we could have actual state championship meets, where we could actually, because those other facilities, I'm not sure why they didn't build them to specification, but thank you for doing this. I think it's important because we need to give something to our scholars. They've been asking for sports, they've been asking for add-on value, and we can work out the details. I don't know if we need to make a motion, another motion to move it forward, or whatever needs to be done to expedite this process, to bring it forward, to bring fresh eyes to it, because like I said, it's already been approved. It just hasn't gotten done. So thank you.
I would like to, oh, I'm sorry.
I would like to say that Vice President Clack and I have been involved with our administrative team, the superintendent, the athletic director, and the Mr. Meinbrook. I can't remember the position, I'm sorry. We have been in talks with the group of creating a PowerPoint about the academics with athletics, planning on presenting back to the board. The conversation and talks is not finished, which is why we haven't presented it just yet. Now, I do understand things are taking a little longer than expected. 100% get that. But I will also say that everything that we do is strategic in those conversations, is to making sure that we have the right information for our board and our audience and our community as we go forth. But the athletic director and the team has been doing a great job at getting the information there, but now it's time to talk about the same things that we all talk about at this table: driving range, how far back, different opportunities that's being talked about, and those partnerships has to be made throughout that process and those conversations. So a presentation will be forthcoming, but it's not going to be as fast as how we kind of want it. But that conversation has already started. It's already going. It's been positive. There's, been some challenges, but we've been working over and overcoming that. But I think we should just not do, in my opinion, I think we should just wait to the presentation. You'll see all the great work that they've been doing, and then we can talk about that afterwards. But all the comments that's already made about gyms and all that good stuff, it's already been talked about and flushed through. So I think we should just allow the process to work out, come back, let's have a conversation as a whole, because you may have your answers, the answers to that questions that you have in that PowerPoint.
I would like to add the fact that I have also reached out to the NFL and Detroit Lions because we qualify for certain grants. This entire thing is to grow the enrollment and bring revenue into the district. There was something else that I wanted to add. About the certification to ensure that it's MHSAA, Michigan High School Athletic Association certified. The point, there is Hamady is one of the schools that we learned that did not have a MHSAA certified track. So the idea is that if they did not, we could essentially contract with them. They could have their invitational meets, regular dual meets, possibly state qualifier meets, even a state meet at our facility. Now, also with that, we could partner with AAU. There are Little League football teams that utilize the field. We can contract with them. We could bring, the idea is to bring back driver's training at a discounted or free for the schools, and for a regular rate for out of district students. That's still something at the early stages. But the entire project is to grow enrollment and gain revenue. That's the idea behind this. So I just wanted to add the fact that I've reached out to Alternative for grant opportunities because we do qualify for certain grants. Also, I reached out to Sheriff Swanson to possibly bring a law enforcement partnership. So at the garage in the building with the classroom area, we could also have a police mini station. So that would kind of hopefully alleviate some of the issues in the area and give them somewhere to say.
And concerning the driving range,
Yes, ma'am.
have you reached out to dealerships yet?
No, we're still in the early stages, but we have noticed, or not noticed, we have started looking at who we can reach out to for maybe possible RFPs, so we can,
Okay.
So it's still early stages, but I just wanted to, yes, ma'am.
I would just like to follow up and say that now we got this initiative on track. Maybe we just won't just wait for so long a gap. Maybe every couple of weeks or something. You think you guys can update us, or?
I could technically give prices, but I didn't want to. I'm not the athletic director, and I don't want to step on toes and overstep boundaries.
Yeah,
so
but what we're trying to say, we want to keep the ball moving.
Yes.
And so if we keep the ball moving, you should be able to update us probably in some of our meetings that we have, and just keep the board up, and then we'll bring the whole process to the community. Is there any more questions? You did a great job. Thank you. We appreciate that initiative. Thank you, Trustee King and Luna and Mr. Jones and all you guys, because this has been the vision of the board. So we really appreciate that you're moving forward. Do any board member have any comments before we adjourn? I do have one myself.
I definitely do.
Okay, Trustee Relaford.
I want to address that teacher that came up to the podium. I was the board member, and I didn't have my badge on, and I stepped up to the table. I didn't say a word. The literature was on the table, and it was 3 of them. I know one was Miss Cross. It was 3 white women. And when I tell you, I was looking at 3 bigots. I mean, I was looking at 3 bigots. They looked at me like I was nothing. So I said, so you just not gonna acknowledge me? Well, what do you want? Well, what is this table about? Community engagement, pointing at it. Well, I can read. Tell me what I'm looking at. Never said a word. So I went to the table next to it where it was Brownell. She told me everything I needed to know. Natasha Wilson came up. She buffeted. Well, I get it. I know. I'll say something to them. Okay, they still stood there. And I looked at the lady, and I'm like, you know what? I can only imagine how you treat little black kids. Now, I understand that the union have things going on. I've been a union member. I've been a rep. But it's a certain way you represent yourself. I took aback. I was really taken back with the no confidence because you do that, but what are you saying when you're supposed to be helping the community? It's a time and a place for everything, but being rude and disrespectful, I'm no less than you. I'm not better than you. But I wish I could have recorded the way them 3 white women looked at me. And I take issue with that. No, I was upset. I was very upset. Because you don't know me from a can of paint. And even if you did know me, that made it even worse. So when a person get up and tell a story, tell the truth. Because I'm not hard to find at all. Yes, I reported them 3 young ladies to Miss Fields and also to Miss Wilson. And also Miss Wilson was standing there. So something's not right. But I'm one, I'll own mine. I'll own it. But when I tell you they looked at me like I was less than them, I meant that. And I'll repeat it again. It was 3 bigots looking at a young black girl. And I took major offense to that. I'm a woman just like you. I'm an adult. You at this event to present information. Present the information. That was it. It was 7 books. And you point at a title, community engagement, and that's all? Why are you even there? If you that angry, why even be there? Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Rutherford. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'll go next. So in 2022, when I chose to run for the Flint Board of Education, I understood how challenging things were when it came to how we pay our teachers compared to other districts and charter schools, the amount of vacant properties that we haven't moved on, the operational deficit, the morale, and a host of other issues that the district is facing that they have faced for many years. I mean, I live by Central High School, 2 blocks. I see it every day. So I'm not discouraged by the demonstrations, because to be honest, I'd probably do the same thing if I was a teacher in Flint schools and come and protest. I'm not mad at the union. I still believe and will continue to believe that we're partners in addressing this issue. I'm happy that we've gotten that message from not just our superintendent, but from him and us in a united effort. You're not going to see me disparage them publicly or privately, because this is a long-term partnership, and it's for the kids, and I get it. There's some votes people don't like, and that's fine with me, because I can explain every vote that I make. But I want to say that I'm committed to this effort and resolving it, and I think we will at some point. Thank you.
Trustee King.
Yes, I want to
take the time to highlight our scholars that went to the University of Michigan, Flint. They had a conference panel, and our scholars was able to represent Flint Community Schools well. They shared their insights about technology, education, and generative AI at the table. To me, that is a huge thing because students' voice at those kind of tables, I was one of those students before at those tables discussing certain issues that would affect us generations to come. And I do want to give credits to our scholars, Mason Kostick, and I think it's Aaliyah Boo. I'm sorry if I pronounced the name wrong. Elijah, that did a great job there. I've gotten positive feedback from from the people that organized that event. They was excited about Flint scholars being at that table. I would also like to, commend our academics team along with the staff that put together the Taste of Literacy. That was my first Taste of Literacy event I was able to attend, and I was told I missed the last one, and when I missed that last one, I felt so bad, and I was so glad I was able to attend this one. This was a phenomenal, well-planned event. Our staff, 100%, did that for literacy. When we understand that literacy is key to everything, to when we sign our name on a paper, document for housing and et cetera, our scholars are being, I love to see our district promote literacy and great things like that. And seeing our families out there, seeing our scholars out there getting books, understanding what reading is like, in our March, reading month, it's beautiful to see. So I do want to commend the team, with especially our director of academics and the academic team for spearheading, but also each and every staff that was put in the hard work and making that work. PR is always, especially with the PR of that was a fantastic event. I just want to give credit to our team for doing that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Trustee Perkins?
I want to say I also attended the literacy outing. It was out of sight. The children were just engrossed. I ran into the superintendent. He was there, and Ms. Rutherford, Mr. King, we all went over, and it was just, everybody was engaged. And they had a lot of good materials, and they shared a lot of good food with us, too. But it was really nice, and I just commend the whole board, the superintendent and everybody for putting it on.
Thank you.
The administration.
Trustee McIntyre-Denby.
So I wanted to thank everybody for the hard work that they put into this meeting. We are moving to work forward. I do want to reiterate what other board members have said about the literacy event. I was injured and couldn't make it, but I do look forward to those. I'm very excited that we're working with partners like Samaj Brown and Mama Soul. We couldn't do better than that. We've got so many community partners and resources that we're just so fortunate to have locally because they're international artists. I also want to thank the teachers for coming out and coming to the meeting, these last couple of meetings, and expressing their concerns. They are being heard, they are being listened to. I am currently a member of the CWA, both the CWA and the AFT, and I work in labor organizing, so I am not unsympathetic to what you're talking about and what you're asking. And so we're doing everything that we can. This board is the most, I would say, based on my research of the school board, which I do a lot of for other projects, is the most labor-friendly board that the school district has ever had. And if you look at what we're working with, it really has been policies of previous boards that we're trying to undo. We're trying to also deal with a state that is woefully underfunding our democracy and our public education system. I would hope that we can all come together. We're a school district, and that includes the teachers, that includes the union. We should be on the same side. And your anger is very justified, but it's misplaced. The people that we need to be fighting for better funding for education. We need to be fighting for better resources. The board can't provide that. We can't change the structure. We can't change the system. And we're trying to work within the system as best we can. We raised the hard caps. We have given over $22,000 in bonuses, and yes, that was the board decision because we fought to have that portion of the ESSER funds actually given in a cash payment to the teachers. But our hands are tied in a lot of ways because of legislature, because of federal policies, because of state policies. We need to come together as a community, and you have a board who is willing to do that. We need to go fight in Lansing. We need to go fight in Washington. There's a bigger enemy. We're scrambling for crumbs amongst each other, and that's shameful. And that is shameful. We deserve the whole pie. And the teachers deserve to retire with dignity. They deserve to be made whole. I've always said that. But there's no whole to be given not because of the board, but because of the way that funding or the way that education is thought about and the way that it is funded and the approach of the public to divide and conquer. So I welcome conversations. I'm here for that. I would love to have these conversations to look how we can all become unified to fight the real enemy and move forward and get what the teachers deserve and get what the students deserve, because we deserve public schools that are well funded. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McIntyre. There's several things that I do want to respond to, and I appreciate Deacon Dumas came and he asked about the security contract, and maybe Mr. Jones can give some information on that, what we need to do to get that done, since that conversation has not been brought back up. Number two, we had some people to come to the polling and said, you guys have hundreds of some millions of dollars. That ESSER 1, 2, and 3 money came with stipulation. And I want to believe 80-some% of it was in education. We took as much as we could. When we came on board, we had ESSER 1, which went for COVID. We had ESSER 2. We've been audited 2 or 3 times. We have spent the money exactly according to the guidelines that was handed down to us. Yeah, technology and curriculum, that's where a percentage of the money come. And for someone to come and say that you took $100-some million, what did you do with it? We renovated Door Right. This is what the government said we could do with this money. We had to go to the public, and the public tell us how to spend it. You cannot steal money from the board. I don't hear people out there say they stole. We don't even know what a check looked like. It's impossible to steal anything we're given, because we don't get paid to sit here. However, we spent everything according to the guideline. We renovated Door Rider. We are putting the campus over there at Brownell's and Holmes. And then we tore down Washington. We have 2 years of funding left to last us about 2 years. We have a governor that did debt elimination. Am I correct, Mr. Jones? They did not include Flint in eliminating debt, who has been through the water crisis. We went through the pandemic. Our house value went down. We can't do right by our teachers, because if you eliminate, and I'm speaking to the governor, and you called me this morning on the phone with the state, why don't you guys give us debt elimination for Flint so we can get these teachers back into the classroom, smaller classroom. That is what we need to have successful students. Our students is on their way to an apple field if we don't get this reading up and get these classrooms back together. Me personally, I worked in the school 10 years, sold my life into this school, 10 years, working side by side with teachers. I had some teachers that worked with me, made me some successful. Then I have some teachers that don't have a respect for a black woman as a human being, that able to teach without a certification. But I kept going on until I got right here. My job is to make us whole, but we need help. We need government help. These raggedy buildings that everybody's whining about, you couldn't even pay 1 or 2 bills with it. But however, we are going to win. We are going to have the shovel in the ground because this board is working all over the place. We've been up in D.C. begging for money. It's on the government now. Give us this debt elimination so we can make our teachers whole, make our student whole, and make this district whole so we can create new schools. That is my stand on this here. I'm working with my board members. We're working with the union. I will not sit here and watch hundreds of teachers. My goal is to make the substitute teachers whole because without them, your job wouldn't be that easy. Also the payroll, make them whole. Make everybody whole. It's just not a one-person deal. The principals work, they need money. But the issue is we don't have nobody wants to spend a dime to help us. But Lord, go on them podcasts and go on these different shows and stuff. You pull us down, down, down. And I support Ms. Relaford. Sometimes we have feelings and you just disrespect that feeling. Sometimes we respond. But do that mean that we giving up? The answer is no. Mr. Jones, on behalf of the board, could you please explain to them what is this next RFP for security?
So the board has already stated to the administration that to put an RFP up for safety and security. The RFP is already set to go up Monday. We're supposed to have this done by June, and it will be.
Thank you. Trustee Clark.
Okay, so I'm gonna go last. So first, I would like to recognize all of the Muslim brothers and sisters that are celebrating Ramadan right now.
Thank you.
I would also like to piggyback on what Trustee King said about Mason that's graduating and it was accepted into Kettering. I'm sure that there are other scholars that have been accepted into school. I just know for a fact that about that one. And real quick, I just wanted, excuse me, I'm sorry. I wanted to say this directly to the teachers that came here and the ones that didn't get a chance to make it. We hear you. We need you.
Yes.
We respect you, and we value you. It may seem like it doesn't. And if anybody, I'm not taking anyone's interest away, but if anyone understands how you all feel, it's me. As a former Flint School employee that was employed by the district in 2014, who had money taken from him himself, I do understand. The feeling is, it's very awkward to sit here when we hear a lot of my former friends and coworkers hold signs up that don't have confidence in us. That I know it hurts you, but as a former employee of the district, it hurts me as well. It's hard to look at you in the face. It's hard to sit here up here at this board table and look at you in the face, knowing that you've taken the cuts that you've taken, and to have it appear that we don't care and that we don't stand with you. That's the furthest from the truth, at least it is. I don't want to speak for everyone. I'm sure we feel the same, but that is furthest from the truth, especially from Vice President Clack. So I'm speaking directly to you. I would like for you all to know that. And I am excited and looking forward to coming to a resolution. Hopefully we can stick together and we can work it out.
Last comment.
Okay, I'd like one moment of silence for our fallen soldier, Mr. Eric Mays.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Board of Education will hold its regular board meeting on Wednesday, March 20th, 2024 at 6:30 here at ALA. Seeing no further business, I declare the board committee for whole adjourned at 9:11.